Hi, this is Let's Talk About Myths, baby. I'm Liv, your myth lover and general lunatic. Today's mini-myth is devoted to all of you who have sent in requests and suggestions for episodes about characters that sadly don't really have any actual stories associated with them. I wish they did, but in so many cases there's maybe a one-line anecdote in one book out of my far too large collection. Or in other cases, simply a concept associated with the name of a character and literally nothing else. But you all still want to know about these people, and that's why I love you. So this one's for you, based almost exclusively on the suggestion box on my website. Mini-myth. Minor god madness. Thanatos, Kratos, and other characters you've asked about. In the beginning, you remember, there was chaos. From that chaos emerged Nyx, night, and Erebus, darkness. The two were well matched, and they got together pretty quick. Ironically, from their sexy times came Ether, which is brightness, and Hemera, which is the day. From the darkness of night came the brightness of day, and isn't that just fucking lovely? I've said it before and I'll say it again. The way these ancient people explained the world around them is just so goddamn beautiful. Fuck science. I want to believe what they believed. Anyway, that's who was born from night fucking darkness. But night, Nyx, was also able to make babies all on her own. Damn fucking right, girl. On her own, Nyx gave birth to Moros, who's the personification of doom and gloom, hence the word, well, morose. She also had the Moire, the Fates, I've talked about them before, and the Oneiroi, who are dreams. Nyx also had two sets of twins, Momos, the god of blame, satire, mockery, whose twin was Oisis, the goddess of pain and distress, but also anxiety and depression. There's a goddess of anxiety and depression, and I just think that's badass. I want to reclaim her, make her my patron saint of my own personal anxiety. The other set of twins are Thanatos and Hypnos, the personifications of death and sleep, respectively. Many of you have asked about Thanatos. I think it's because he's used in some popular culture of some kind, which might suggest that stories about him abound, but they don't. I could find two references to him. Hesiod, who listed Nyx's babies, he among them, and in the Iliad, these two twins carry off Sarpedon once he's died, and they bring him back to his homeland. But that's it. Of course, Hypnos, being the god and personification of sleep, is also where we get the word hypnotize. Nyx also had the Keres, who were female spirits of death and destruction. They really liked the bloody remnants of people on battlefields. She also gave birth to Nemesis and Eris, retribution and strife. These women were appropriately sisters who, altogether, were basically the queens of war. They fucking loved it. But old Nyx wasn't done yet either. She had Apate, the personification of deceit, Philotes, who is ironically enough friendship, and Geras, the concept of old age, which is where we get the word geriatric. And now for something completely different. When Zeus began waging war against his father, Kronos, everyone was forced to pick sides. Were they going to support Zeus or Kronos? One day I'll tell you about the war itself, the Titanomachy, in a full episode, but for now, just know. Oceanus, the Titan of the sea, picked Zeus's side of the Titanomachy, and so did his daughter, the Oceanid, Styx. She is, of course, the personification of the river one must cross to reach the underworld. Styx was one of the first to rush to Zeus's aid in the war and positioned herself as a devoted supporter, and she brought with her her children. Styx was married to the Titan Pallas. He's the Titan of warcraft. Together they had 4 very powerful winged children, all of whom went with Styx to Olympus to be on the side of Zeus and were rewarded for it. Their sons are Zealous, the god of zeal and emulation, and Kratos, the god of strength. Styx and Pallas's daughters are Bia, super strong goddess of force, and Nike, goddess of victory, from which the brand Nike got its swoosh. It's one of her wings. How fun is that? Because of this loyalty to Zeus, the 4 children, all of whom have wings, I should say, stand at Zeus's side on Mount Olympus, and they're available to him for whatever he might need handled. Kratos and Bia figure into one version of the story of Prometheus from Aeschylus's Prometheus Bound, which again I'll cover one day. And Styx, her loyalty was also rewarded by Zeus. Her children would sit at his side, which is reward in itself, but on top of that, Zeus made her river the one by which all gods swear oaths. When a great oath needs swearing, they do it at the river Styx. Well, friends, there are some of those characters you've asked about. Greek mythology was so in-depth and included so many characters that, sadly, there are so many instances where there either weren't ever any substantial stories told about the certain gods and goddesses, or even worse, the stories simply never made their way down the generations to be recorded and to eventually survive. There are so many lost stories and myths and plays, and if you think about it too much, it's just a huge, huge bummer. Seriously, a time machine would be super fucking cool. And on that note, thank you so much for listening, dear pals. Everything in today's episode came from Hesiod's Theogony. Also, if you've submitted a suggestion via my website and I didn't cover the character here, fear not. That probably means I've either already covered that character or myth, because I won't lie, a lot of you suggest things that have already been covered, or your suggestion turned out so good that there's a mini myth's worth, or better yet, even a whole episode. I've gone through and picked out all the suggestions you gave me that have enough content for entire episodes, and those are in the making. On another note entirely, thanks so much to everyone who participated in my impromptu Q&A on Instagram last week. I was not expecting that kind of response, and it was so much fun hearing from all of you and answering your questions. Thanks also to all the people who sent in just nice things rather than questions. You're all the best too. To those of you who missed it, I've included the story in my Instagram highlights so you can see the questions I answered. I'll do it again soon too, and actually give some notice so people can hop on to ask their questions and to see my responses. As per usual, it would be magnificent if you could go on over to Apple Podcasts or iTunes and give me a 5-star rating because you love me so much and you want loads of other nerds to find me. Also, follow me places. I'm going to try to make sure to post more in 2019, and more followers will only give me more drive to follow through. Love you all. I'm Liv, and I love this shit.